What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Humanhood series, the series that is devoted to humanizing your human experience and making personal development more personal. It's your girl, Melanie Peralta, with my co-host,
Casey Riley.
And today we have a very significant guest, somebody who I have been so excited to dive into this conversation about, my dear homie, Jayarr Steiner.
Thanks.
This is our second guest on the Humanhood series and the very first
male guest
that we've had. So thank you for bringing the masculine energy into the space.
I'm going to do my absolute best to be chill, calm, because you know how,
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Okay.
Express yourself.
So the reason why I really wanted to bring you into this conversation with us is because, well, first of all, Casey and I, we're so committed to having the conversations around these nuanced human experiences that are extremely uncomfortable, are controversial, and we love to tell the background stories of what these things look like. A lot of time when you listen to a podcast or you see interviews, a lot of the times you're hearing about what the person does. So you're an artist, full-time artist, and we will talk about that, but we're going to dive so much more deeper into just who you are as a human, which is what this is all about when it comes to our interviews, because you have a motherfucking story, my friend, and I have been your friend on the background of a very controversial experience that you've had. I've seen you as an artist, I've seen you as a father, I've seen you as a partner, I've seen you like in so many different levels and layers and roles of your life. And I want everybody else to be able to see those things too, because you did get canceled in 2020?
Something like that.
Yeah.
The beginning of COVID, the beginning of like the BLM riots and, Scottsdale Fashion Square in Phoenix was getting smashed into. And so and Trump was spicy at that time.
The world was sensitive.
Yeah. And so I got caught up in that. And so, yeah.
And the world had time on their hands. During that time.
The world had time. Facts.
When you're worried about things going on in the world and you're feeling that tension, it's like an ember to starting a wildfire. All it takes is one little ember and it will catch people on fire that aren't grounded and internally set and just knowing that like everything's fine. It'll seem like everything's falling apart. And a lot of times when we're stressed, we're looking for something outside of ourselves to dump that energy on because we don't know how to process it. And so, I got. Some of the things that happened to me were true, some were not, and I'm happy to divulge. Also, I want to say this before we move forward. So Melanie's excuse my language, excuse my voice, I'm a little hoarse, but Melanie and I need to set the stage. We talk like 3 times a week, an hour minimum every time. And it's been like that for honestly years. And so we're like friends. Like this is my she supported me big time when I was going through some relationship things. She was too. So we watched each other go through like deep, difficult, like drive you crazy type relationship stuff. And she's the first person that I've ever had the practice of supporting on, not trying to get her out of her situation, but because she chose to be in it. Like, how can I support you? It's torture for me to watch you go through this, but you need this obviously. And then she helped me through the same. So now we have a layered friendship that is unique. It's like multi-weekly deep conversations. And like, so that's the situation with Melanie and I. We're real road dogs.
Dude, like, and I talked about this in one of the episodes recently, is like having those men in your life, that healthy masculine voice to tell you, yo, this, that's my dog right there. Like I call him when I'm fucked up and I cry and I'm like, well, I was just very vulnerable on my on the last episode that I'm no longer in my romance that I was in. And I'm like, Jayarr, bro, you got to support me through this, man.
Okay, but my question is, when you're in a relationship or when you're in a relationship, how do your partners feel about that? And do you guys shift your dynamic at all when you are in a relationship?
Okay, I got a story. So I was seeing this girl, maybe like Melanie. Basically, something she did broke us up for sure, right?
Wait,
So
what
look,
did she do?
so look.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Fuck,
look.
that's true.
So I was
I
seeing this
did.
girl, right? And I'm not a flowers guy. I'm not like I don't buy gifts. My time is everything to me. So I give my time in abundance. And so Melanie was like, "You need to buy this girl some flowers, right?" And I'm like, "But that's not me." She said, "Look, I'm gonna bring you buy some flowers for her, right?" So
Oh
look,
no.
so
He
look, she,
told her they were for me.
Okay.
of course, because they were. And I
Yeah.
explained like so look, she brought the flowers by the house. We gave a quick hug, and I was like, damn, my community really loves me. My community supports me. And I asked her, do you want me to tell her they're from you? She's like, hell yeah, because Melanie and I are on this openness and honesty, right? So I knew it. I felt the paprika and the cumin coming. I'm like, this is gonna be a good test. The girl shows up. It's Valentine's Day. The flowers are there. I probably waited a little too long. I probably waited like 4 hours for her to, kind of like
Wait.
to love the fact that I gave her flowers.
Wait, the
And then I
flowers
was
that
like,
Melanie gave you.
yeah.
They gave her.
And then
Okay,
I
okay,
was like,
okay.
hey, my homegirl actually bought these because I'm not too much of a flowers guy. And I saw the color drain from her face. And within like 2 hours, she was like, hey, I can't do this anymore. So, I jokingly called Melanie and I was like, look, you have pure love. This person is not prepared for actual love, real love. And so I happily let her go. But I like to every once in a while be like, hey, you're the reason that like you caused this breakup. But thank
But then
you.
he found another person.
Wait, but
Yeah, don't try to change the subject.
No,
Go
this,
ahead.
no, but this is crazy because if I were your girlfriend and some other girl bought flowers and that was a situation, I would be really weirded out by that. Even if it
Would
was
you?
pure love. Yes.
Let me say something. Perfect. Let me explain why that's perfect. That opens the door to communication. Here's how I function. This is me imagining talking to my person. Here's how I function in life. I believe in love. Let me explain to you who this person is to me. She didn't want to hear it. Then go.
But we
Go,
met. We met.
please.
Like she knew who I was. So okay,
I get it what you're saying, and I think that is very unusual in today's world
Yeah,
for
yeah.
something like that to happen, and I
Totally.
can totally see why she was upset with that.
Same, but
Yes.
we're unusual. I'm unusual. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
handle
yeah.
if you can't handle my homie buying you a gift through me, I might if she links up with somebody, I might have him over for dinner. I might give him something from me. I might give him something through. But we should all be connected. This is my dog. This is like you're new.
And it was such an organic thing, y'all. But first of all, I went to Trader Joe's and bought flowers for a bunch of my friends. And I happened to be on the phone with him, and he's telling me, I know she really wants these flowers, but I'm not really a flower guy, so I'm not going to get her flowers. And I'm like, just fucking get her flowers. He's like, no, like, I'm not going to do it. That's not who
'Cause
I
it's
am.
not real
And then
to
I was
me.
like, well, I'm out getting flowers right now. I'm going to buy her some, and I'm taking them to your house for you to give her some. So she has flowers today on Valentine's Day because I know that that's what she'll want.
Right.
So that was the
So
situation.
you were covering for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
it
I
wasn't
was
like a gift from Melanie
No.
to this girl.
no, it was like you did. Well, it was like she wants these flowers. I think she deserves them. He doesn't want to give them to her, so I'm gonna buy them for him so that he can give them to her, and then she can know that I did that as his friend who wants you to have flowers from him.
Why did you feel like you had to fix the situation and step in for him in that
Honestly,
way?
that's a good question. It didn't feel like it was for him. It felt like it was for her. I was like, I want her to have flowers today. If she wants you to have flowers, you're such an asshole for not wanting to get her something that she really wants.
To me, that was a sign that I have people who love me so much that they're willing to fill in where I lack.
Yeah.
Real talk. That to me, that's real love. But I have a question for you. When you heard initially that story, you had a reaction.
Yeah.
What came up for you in that moment? Imagining being in her shoes.
Yeah, that is a great question. So I'm thinking, and Melanie and I have talked about this, like our different dynamics with friendships and male friendships and whatnot. I've just never been in a dynamic where I've had like a solid brother like that, or Brian has had a solid girlfriend, a girl that's a friend like that. And I'm just imagining if that were to happen right now in my relationship, like if Brian never got me flowers, which he does, And one of his coworkers was like, "Get your wife flowers. I'm gonna get them for you on behalf of you, and you just do it." To me, that would be weird to me, and not from any type of way about her, but it's like, let him reveal himself. If he doesn't want to do something like this, if it feels inauthentic, why are we pushing it? And why are you inserting yourself in our relationship? Let us be.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Noted.
The way I see the world is everyone should be fiercely them. Whatever your flag is, wave that thing as hard as you can wave it. And the people who don't vibe with it, they separate quicker because they're going to leave eventually anyway. They're going to learn who you are. She's a powerful human being. I feel like I'm powerful. If this light is too much and you don't even want to process and hear it, then you got to go so I can get someone on the team that's ready to rock. The girl I'm with now, guarantee it'd be a different story.
Yeah, she would feel differently.
Totally
and I thought
different.
about it from like how I would feel.
Exactly.
I'm like, if I met so and so and like she knew who I was and we like, you know, he's already made the connection that this is my good friend, and then I find out that she bought me flowers, I would be so grateful. Like in my heart, I would not feel
For her, but what about him?
no for me if
If she bought you flowers, you'd be like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for thinking of me like this." But you, on the other hand, like,
yeah. I mean, I guess I could see that, but I would look at it
on behalf of.
True. I would just look at it as a gesture of love. That's how I would view it. I wouldn't view it as like, oh well, she got me these and you didn't get me these, so I don't want them. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, I know you're not that kind of guy. Your friend knows that you're not that kind of guy, and so she wanted me to have flowers on this day because I wanted that. I would be fucking grateful.
I would just want them to be from her. Then you give me the flowers. You don't need to buy flowers on behalf of my partner to give to me.
Yes, you a spicy thing.
Well,
You are a spicy
listen.
thing.
The beautiful thing about this series is that Casey and I are so opposite.
yeah.
We're
Total
so
opposite.
different. So in this series, it works really well.
I guess I'm too dim for you guys. I'm not,
No.
I'm not on your frequency.
No, in this series, like that's the beautiful thing about our
Yeah.
dynamic, because I know there's people listening that like, bitch, you better not have gotten me flowers from because my man didn't get me flowers. And then some people are listening and be like, that was actually really sweet. If like one of your closest homegirls did that for me, I'd actually be really happy, and I would feel welcome into your life, into your friendship group.
So let me talk to y'all. Anyone who's listening to this who's relating with Casey, is Casey,
Yes.
right? Remember, everything that happens outside of you is what comes up is a conversation of what you have going on inside. So just take a minute. If you get that feeling, just let that thing speak and say, what from my past, what from my childhood, what from past relationships am I feeling that's coming up from my solar plexus that makes me uncomfortable with this? Is there any way that I can take a moment to breathe and try to find the light in this thing? Because look, we're talking about the same situation, right? But her perspective, my perspective, and your perspective on it is different based on what we have going on inside. But it's the same scenario. So I would just implore y'all to take a moment when you're in a situation that's uncomfortable to see what is speaking to you from your gut. And there's a really good chance that it might be something that you should just listen and journal about it and think about it, you know?
And on that, yes, I agree with that. I think that everything's a mirror and a reflection of things we can work on. But I don't think there's a right or wrong in any of these dynamics.
Totally.
Your boundaries with your partner or whatever you have in play, it's all shaped off of what has happened to us and our beliefs.
Right.
But there are things that are blatantly right or wrong. We always talk about that.
Yeah.
But with some of these things, it's like, if that's not okay in your relationship, that's okay.
Totally.
Agreed. Remember, my reflection on her leaving was thank you. Good, go.
Well, and now he has a partner that if I did buy her flowers, she'd be super grateful.
Amazing.
now that's the situation. But going from that conversation to segue into back to what we were talking about the cancel culture and things like that, this is actually a good segue because it sets the tone for clearly there's different personalities. Clearly there's different types of perspectives and different lifestyles and just different people. So I want to dive into the experience that you had because honestly, you're one of my weirdest friends. Like straight up, you are one of my weirdest friends in a great way, but in a way that not everybody understands you. I've actually, some of our friendship has been uncomfortable in certain ways because I've been on the other end of experiencing people who don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
And that's controversial because there's people out there who they don't agree with who you are and how you live or choices that you've made, and they have big opinions on it, whether they know you personally or not, because you've been in the public light due to your artistry. And me being your friend who knows you behind the scenes, seen you in your relationships, seen you with your daughter, our children play together, you know, like being in the intimate moments of your life and knowing how different you are and knowing how unorthodox you can be and accepting those things about you because I'm that way in a big sense too. But I want to talk about what you went through and what just briefly, I don't want to go into too much detail, but briefly give everybody a broad overview. Why did you get canceled?
Beginning of COVID, I get the world is in chaos. Artists are losing contracts. Their artists are already struggling, but I was not. I got I don't even want to put the numbers out there, but tens of thousands of dollars to do a series of murals inside this brand new building in downtown Tempe. I ask a female to come, and this is okay. I never say this part of it publicly, but it's important. She's an unattractive lesbian. This
Okay.
isn't, I'm sorry, but this is important.
This is your personal opinion.
Yeah, this is all me. She's an unattractive lesbian. This is so important. Just hear me out, okay?
Wait, I'm not laughing at I just have to get the laugh out.
Because you know what's coming.
Yeah, okay, go.
Okay, so look. We do this series of gigs. We get it done. We're talking about, can I cuss?
Yeah,
We're talking about hippie shit. We're on our way up the elevator to this rooftop of this brand new building. There's no one in the building but us. It's nighttime. It's me, her girlfriend, and my other female assistant who I'm really good friends with. We're talking about nudity and we're talking about getting naked. And everybody's like, yeah, we like to get naked. Cool. Do y'all want to celebrate this job by skinny dipping on the pool? Absolutely. I get naked. My female assistant get naked. She doesn't. She's up on the ladder continuing the mural. We carry on with our lives. Fast forward to a week later, we have a discrepancy. She tries to extort me for money. I tell her we can never work together again, but let me pay you the base level that I said I would, not this extra shit you're trying to tack on. And she proceeded to cancel culture me, which is what people from that side do. I'm not mincing words. You invited me, I'm gonna keep it real. People from that side, they be canceling, right? So that opportunity, that her opening that portal, it got wide, and a gang of people, artists, all dogpiled Jayarr, who is thriving in this moment. This is my perspective. I'm thriving in this tense moment, and they took this opportunity to dogpile me, and it got weird and intense. I had to hire a defamation lawyer. I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars to hire this guy to deal with her and deal with these monkeys that are all scrambling around to try to kick the ladder out from underneath me. And they kicked me, they booted me out of what was a brand new glass 3,000 square foot studio, and then contracts got lost. I lost a bunch of money, but I kept my sanity and my integrity. And so this is a multi-layered story. So I would love to share pieces of it. Y'all can ask questions about each piece, and I can give you my reflection.
Okay. So, my question is, that was in the art community that happened, right? However, I was not in the art community at all. And I started hearing about you through other women in my community, which is the spiritual, at the time it was like more of like the spiritual conscious community, out here in Phoenix, Scottsdale, this area. And there was women in my community who were saying things about you. So my question is, at what point did that reputation start to, because the reputation was what? The reputation, what was being said out there was that you were a predator, and the accusations of even you being a pedophile was put out there, which is crazy.
When it was just like the four of you in that scenario?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question is, at what point did that reputation get out of just the artist community and start getting in other communities and catching wildfire to the point where you were a huge topic of conversation amongst women? This is how I learned about you. Women telling other women that they need to be careful around you.
Look, the truth is, if you genuinely feel like someone is a concern, you should warn people about them. And I don't have a problem with that. I literally have no problem with, if you genuinely feel someone is a concern, you should warn people about them. I've never had an issue with that. But how did it get there? One of the narratives is that I've heard that predatorial things, like there was a lot of Insta stories being posted where people are sharing their experiences with me. One of the things that I do enjoy doing is just pursuing freedom through nudity. So imagine there was a time where I was drawing these female yoga trees, and what I would do is I would have my friends, non-friends, models come to my studio, and they would pose naked or mostly naked for some of these things, right? A lot of models that are available, healthy, well formed to create the art that I want are young and beautiful, right? So I'm having to toe this line where what I'm doing is pure. I'm creating art. Music videos that have beautiful women in them, they're usually under 25 and attractive, right? So I'm in this world, in this field, but also I'm in my late 30s at that time. So people, I'm sure there's people who are like 50-50, like this is what's happening in the world, but also we got to keep an eye on this guy. So the narrative becomes he only works with young attractive girls. He's gathering them around them, but also hiring an unattractive lesbian to work with me and her girlfriend and paying them also that. So what is the narrative, like what? So but this is what happens. Yo, human beings are guided by fear. We yap the most about what to be afraid of. It's in our DNA. We're still in survivor mentality from eons of being on this planet, being hunted by saber-tooths, being hunted by other humans. It's okay, because we're gonna evolve out of that. I get caught up in the fear mongering, but also I do like being around young, attractive women. I do.
And that is what you attract. As your friend on the other end of your dating life, you do attract young women.
Older women want nothing to do with this. I'm a full-time artist. I'm chaotic. Do you see my hair? What older woman wants to deal with all this? Like I'm wacky. It's what it is. I'm full of life. I'm excited about life. I'm in this adventurous spirit. I attract like-minded people. They happen to be younger women. What am I supposed to do about that? Push them away because I'm worried about what someone else is saying about me? So a narrative becomes created, and I have to breathe through that. I have to process it. I have to let it go because I know who I am. But I almost lost myself for a minute. When all that was happening, when you have so many voices that are posting online, you start to wonder, is this me? And I got to check in with people. What do you feel? Well, yeah, Jayarr, you are kind of weird. And yeah, you're going to piss people off. But we know you. You're another person that I can rely on to, like, we talk 3 days a week, 1 hour minimum. And she gives me the reassurance. Remember who you are. You're good. You're grounded. You're safe. I'm safe with you. I know who you are. So that's what these cancellations and these things happen all the time. It's just, I pray for anyone who goes through it that they have people around them to remind them who they are, and to keep them down in their root, knowing of who they are. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny though, because even though I was hearing that about him, there was something about him that I was like, I'm curious though. Like, what is he really like? I had even guy friends who were friends with him. And I think another reason why this situation had gotten so controversial again is because you are an out of the box person you have an out of the box personality in a lot of ways. And at the time you were also poly, right? Or exploring poly. And so that's a out of the norm thing that people have judgments on. But also, you, just like you showed your hair right now, you have a big personality and you express that in many, many ways. And so there's an extreme perception of you already. So when all of these things come out, I feel like I could see how it's easy for people to say, oh yeah, I see how that's true. Or yeah, when I was around him, I was a little uncomfortable because his personality's so big and so strong. And even like some of the men were like, yeah, Jayarr has a really big personality, like alpha masculine personality. And so I could see how that could, make some people feel uneasy to where when they hear something about you, they're quick to be like, oh yeah, I could see that happening. But I didn't have any associations with you. I've never met you, nothing. So when I heard people talking about you, which was crazy because it was such a big thing, it was a lot of people talking about you, different people talking about you, people that didn't even know each other. I'm like, what's up with this guy? Like, what is his deal? Is he really that? Like, this is kind of a big thing right now. And then you reach out to me and you invite me to the commune, which is a local, just a hippie community for real, for breath work. You invited me with you and Beth, who was his partner at the time, to go to breath work. So then I go to breath work. I meet you guys for the first time. I connect with the commune. Great community. It was dope. I was really glad that I went. And then you and I get to talking about that we have kids. And you're like, oh my God, none of my friends have children. Like, my daughter needs friends. Are you open to play dates? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So then you invite me and Kai over with you and your girl and your daughter, and we're all hanging out. Everything's fine. And I'm experiencing you in your most intimate space. You invited us to your house. You're cooking everybody dinner. Like, you're the cook. And I'm just like, I have such tight instincts. Like, I feel people. I read people. I sense people. I heard that this man was a predator. I heard he was a pedophile. First of all, I grew up around pedophiles in my own family. I know what that energy feels like. I know what predatory energy is to the root of it. And I'm like, I do not get that vibe from this man at all. Then I'm like, but you really don't know him still, Mel. So who knows? Maybe he is. Who knows? He does have this young girlfriend, but then I see his relationship with his daughter. And you are truly one of the most extraordinary fathers I've ever gotten to witness.
Thanks.
Like, I mean that with every fiber of my being. Like, I have a handful of men, all like my brothers and my platonic male relationships that have children, exemplary fathers. Like,
Which
Nate.
you would only have men around you that are that. Because
Totally. Same thing with
medically,
mothers.
yeah.
Same thing with mothers too. We've talked about this. Like, I can't be your friend if I don't think you're a good mom. But yeah, so I saw you in that light, and so I'm like, I don't think that this guy is who everybody says that he is, And we organically kept just building a friendship since then. We kept getting our kids together. Then you and your partner, I was in my last relationship at the time, like madly in love. And so we would talk about that a lot. You guys would be going through things in your partnership. I connected with your partner at that time. So I was kind of there with you guys when there was some uncomfortable moments.
Would sit in the room with us and counsel us just organically.
Yeah.
I would tell you what I was going through with my girlfriend. She would tell you, you would give us feedback. You would even isolate her. I would go to the studio and you would talk with her inside, and like, it was super supportive.
Yeah. Cause there was like moments where I'm there and then there's like, they're going through something and I'm like, oh shit. You know, when you're a kid and you're at like your friend's house and then like the parents are fighting. That's kind of how it felt. Yeah. But now I'm a grown up. I'm not a kid anymore. So I could be like, and then me being who I am, I'm like, hey, actually, can I say something? Because, like, she's right, So just being in those intimate experiences, I'm like, oh, this dude is not what everybody says that he is. So we just continued our friendship, and it's been like 4 years now, something like that. And like I said, I've been on the other end of experiencing people who are like, that guy's a pedophile. And I'm like, yo, that's a serious accusation to make. I'm like, he has a daughter. Yeah. And he's an incredible father. Like, how do you think that impacts a person and their identity and just the intimate energy in their world when that is a cloud that's still over their head 4 years later? You know what I mean? Like, Kendrick and Drake are in a defamation lawsuit right now because of that word. That ain't something to play with, man. You don't just throw around that word like that, you know?
How did you navigate? You mentioned that people were posting stuff on social media. Take us back to that moment, because even right now, we know someone who's going through some major accusations online as well, and people are coming for her hard online with platforms of like 1 million plus followers. And so take us back to that moment of when you started seeing that every time you opened up your phone. Like, what was your process for moving through that, but also getting out of whatever slump that may have put you in?
Yeah, so at the time, because of the COVID thing was new, I was on my phone 24/7 anyway. Like literally refreshing Reddit to get the latest news because I'm like, when is this coming for me? You know, so we're all sick. In that moment, everyone's sick, myself included. I'm hooked to my phone.
Yeah.
So when this is all happening, like after day one, at the time I had a film crew, and so I hired them to come to that space, that new space, and I filmed a video where in the first thing I say is uh literally the first words are fuck cancel culture. And I showed emails where it shows she's trying to extort me. Like these videos, they exist online. All that did was put gasoline on the fire. And then I had to have people who have gone through that process to kind of explain to me that you just have to shut up and you just have to carry on. But it's so hard to shut up because you just want to defend yourself. So I'm deleting comments. I eventually delete the post. Then they start bleeding onto my other posts. And like, I'm like, yo, it was chaos of the mind. But the only way for me to process it in the moment was my the person I was seeing at the time. She was there with me the entire project. She knew everything that happened with that person accusing me. And so I had to keep asking her, like, am I crazy? She's like, no, you're not. Sometimes that's all you need is someone right next to you who's like, you're not crazy. Yeah. We saw the emails. We know, we saw the text. We understand. And so, you know, the truth is, people, we are susceptible to the thoughts and opinions of other people. All of us are. I don't care. It don't matter who you are. We're all susceptible. So when those voices get loud, sometimes they start to leak into your subconscious. But I just had to get out of that and just drop into who I know I am. So here's the tricky thing. Some of the things that people were saying are true. For instance, there was a girl I worked with uh, at some point, and we did some art together. And she said things like, he does have a lot of young girls around. Well, she's not wrong. I do have a lot of younger. I still currently a lot of my friends are female. Look at Melanie. They would put her in that. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. They would stick her in that. I'm supposed to reject them and kick them out the door because they look good. Anyway, I'm getting worked up. So some of the things they're saying are true. The girl who accused me of she accused me of two main things: that I didn't pay her, and that she said her exact words were, I exposed myself. Technically, she's right. She tried to get me for thousands more than what we agreed on because we weren't friends anymore, and tried to get me for some of the things that we had done as friends. I'm not letting you get me like that. You can't retrofit some things that you added on to the contract. You know what I'm saying? No, nigga. Am I allowed to say that?
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, you gotta. No, we're not doing that. I'm gonna pay you what we talked about. So now she's online. Yeah, I'm not paying you now because now I have to pay a defamation lawyer. We're gonna have to figure this out in court. So,
What happened with the court case?
think she ran out of money. I don't know.
Okay, so nothing.
Our lawyers were just going back and forth. I'm talking to my lawyer. Her lawyer sent me a letter, and my lawyer sent her a letter, and then she stopped responding. So, but the messed up thing is the narrative is still out there. But what can I do about that? The best thing that has ever happened to me is discovering yoga and discovering Eckhart Tolle. And yoga and Eckhart Tolle, is it Tolle or Tolle?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. What has helped me is really focusing on what I think this experience is. Because honestly, I genuinely don't believe one human being on this planet understands what this is, and this being alive. I just gotta watch the movie. When I was going through that, I kept asking myself, why me? And I do have some pseudo celebrity friends. I'm not name dropping, but I had to reach out to them to say, what is this? And what they explained to me is that this is what you get for moving too fast. I came on the scene, and these are the facts. Within like 2 to 3 years of me going full time, I was citywide. Like my art was on the light rail, billboards, big art shows, and this and that. He said, that's what you get for moving too fast. Icarus, you know the story of Icarus, flew too high, close to the sun, and his wings melted and he dropped to the ground. So that was so unprofessional of me to be on this gig where they're paying me tens of thousands of dollars and to have my ding-a-ling out.
I was gonna get to that.
It wasn't smart. It was so they're like, hey guy, you're moving dirty.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I didn't even, but I'm hippie though. Everything's cool. No, not everything's cool.
So that was my question to you. Like, what did you actually learn
I
from
have
that?
so much to lose. And also people hurt people. So some of the people that were saying things, I understand where their pain comes from. I'm gonna share a quick story. There was an artist that is fairly well known around here that made multiple videos saying all types of wild stuff. But we were friends at one point. There was a point in our conversation, again, my brain, I say things, I can't help it. At some point in conversation, I said to her, my goal is to sprint past you in success. So that way you can catch up to me and we can continue pacing each other. But I'm going to sprint past you. I was in a DM conversation with somebody who created some art he created like his most popular art piece over the few years around him creating that was about my art. Like he created an you are amazing piece of art. And I'm the type, if you say something about me publicly, I'm going to DM you and ask you to pull up. So I did. I said, by the way, this is the guy you're talking about. He DM'd me and the first thing I said is, where are you? I don't do this internet shit. Come see me right now. If you're gully, enough.
That's masculine energy for you right now.
Wait, something happened to me where someone blatantly, I knew they were talking about me passively online, and I messaged them too. I was like, do you want to have a conversation about this? Because this is really shady, and I know you're talking about me. And then we ended up having a conversation, but that's hysterical.
Yeah, he's all pull up.
It's corny. Like, come see me. So,
Yes.
so I'm in a message. So he revealed something that's really beautiful. Gave me insight. Him and I are going back and forth in DMs. And I'm like, why don't you come to my house? Like, come have dinner with me and my family. And I want you to tell me, because you're talking tough online. I want you to get a moment to breathe and tell me what you're feeling. He goes, look, he shared the story that girl shared with him. He goes, you really hurt her in telling her that you were going to sprint past her. She didn't take that as friendly competition. She took that as an insult. And I was like, oh my God, the pattern is rejection. Sometimes people have an idea that you're above them. Yes, I have success. Yes, I'm able to use my smile and my straight teeth and my nice skin to draw energy from the world, but I'm not above anybody. But people have this perception of you being above them. So the pattern is when I sometimes I separate from people hard, where I'm like, if you're not on this insane train with me, I got to go. It's all love, but I'm leaving right now. So he revealed in those DMs that I hurt her, and that's where a lot of this is coming from. And he said that in a flash. He took his armor down for a second, and he allowed me to see what my pattern is of me harming people in that way. So I'm not sure what my point is. That gave me insight. And so that's one of the things that I learned is that sometimes I'm a little harsh. I've been rejected a lot in my life. So sometimes maybe I repeat that pain myself. Oh, hurt people hurt people. So it's just a series of hurt people trying to harm each other because they haven't healed some damage that's inside. This group of people were probably feeling pain from something with me, whether it's rejection or seeing me have success. And I'm feeling pain from being rejected so much in my life that I'm slashing people out of my life
Yeah.
that aren't on my wave or aren't ready to hustle. So that's one of the things that I learned.
Thank you for sharing that because I feel like, I mean, I even went through last year when I was going through my really tough time. It was like an ego death. And I really had to sit back and pull the lesson out of me, as painful as it was. I'm like, your head's getting too big. Humble yourself a little bit, get back into alignment and refocus. And so I feel like, unfortunately, really hard things happen to us to shift us back into alignment. I feel like yours was devastating. That's just a horrible thing that you went through. And I'm so sorry you moved through that. But I'm curious, Mel, have you ever moved through something where it like humbled you back? Had a moment in your career or just your life?
In my career, I don't know about my career, but definitely in my life, I'm sure. Honestly, even just, oh no, you know what? Yeah, yeah. Um, Even just losing the music contract. Yeah, like that. I was like spent so much time recording this project that I was going to present to the label and plan on getting my record deal, and at the time I was like I thought I was hot shit, bitch. Okay, Selena Gomez wasn't really a thing. Ariana Grande wasn't a thing. Like they were like, "We want you to be this Latina pop star that is missing in the industry." And I was like so riding my high horse on that. And it all fell apart entirely, completely. And I had nothing to show for it. I could not put that music out, nothing. And it was just like, here I am. I built this like big reputation and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And then it just came crashing down and it never actually happened. And I'm honestly on the back end of that, even though I was doing all those great things, I actually wasn't a great person back then.
Because that's when everything started to shift for you.
Yeah, like I actually wasn't a great person. So it was like, damn, I'm actually a shady ass bitch, and then some shady ass shit happened to me. you know? But I do want to go back to the topic of you saying, well, why do I have my dingling out? Because that's another thing, right? It's like the world is the world. And no matter how free we are, or how sovereign we want to be in this life, we do, it just is what it is. We do have to play within the rules when we're in the arena,
Yeah.
aka you were in the professional space. And so you were in the arena of needing to operate in a certain way. And I also hate to say this, but my mentor always talks about this. You in that space, you were an older, bigger, because you're a significantly large man, older, bigger, black male in that situation. That automatically makes the world look at you as more of a danger, as more of something to be afraid of, especially somebody with a big alpha personality like you. So now in life, are you more mindful of your avatar in the matrix when it comes to situations like that? Or are you still like, fuck you guys, I am who I am, this is the body that I'm in, and this is my age, and this is my situation, and I'm just out here living sovereign as fuck? Like, how are you moving now?
Okay, in a professional sense, that will never happen again. Understand that was the biggest thing I've ever done at that point in my life. As far as generating income and project wise, that was a big one. I mean, a brand new building, rooftop pool, like I'm on a high horse, you know? But not everyone has your best intentions in mind. So whether I had permission or not to do that, I've learned a lot about professionalism. And so, I mean, I'm barely a professional. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll be honest with you. I'm just walking through walls, one wall at a time, trying to figure this thing out. So, yeah, that was the first thing I learned is that I can never be that free again in that way. I can be free, but not in that way. Because again, that person is brand new to me. I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I got permission, but people are evil, man. People have darkness inside of them, and I got. But yeah, I've adjusted for sure. But I'm also it's a balancing act because I can't let the world control me completely. So I'm still out here being weird.
And you are still doing nude art,
Yeah,
which I've been there for,
yeah.
which was beautiful, by
And
the
I'm
way.
not gonna stop because if I'm harm, let me think for a second. In that scenario on that rooftop, there was no harm. I am let me be I had permission. I had permission. It wasn't just me out there shaking it. My female assistant, who I have been friends with for years, not the one who accused me, we both got in the pool together. And I'm not on the edge of the pool like this. I'm waiting in the pool. We're having a casual conversation. It's smooth. It's cool. Here's another important thing that no one else knows. The people who hired me, I had my assistant take a video of me jumping in the pool naked. I had my thang-a-lang covered, but I jumped in the pool naked, like, yeah, to celebrate, like, we're done with this project. After this went down, they had been contacted directly by online attackers. And I asked them, were you offended by that video? They were like, fuck no, man, because they felt the vibe. I'm not trying to slang my thing. So this is the balancing
His
act.
one-liners.
Well, you got to get creative with it. This is my thing is balancing. Do I let the world control my truest self? No, I just got to be careful.
Right.
So to answer your question, I'm still out here being weird. I did multiple, no, I'm not naked, but I'm painting somebody naked. It's not just beautiful women. It's men too that I'm trying to paint. It's easier to find
Women who are
that are
down.
down to get nude and get painted than it is men. But I'm
Yeah.
currently looking for a strong, dark-skinned African man because it's not sexual, it's sensual, it's human, it's so human. So to answer your question, hell yeah, I'm moving different now. Completely different. But I'm also out here still being me. So I'm doing my best, man. I hope that everyone that was involved with that, because I'm sure some of them are going to see this, I hope that they are able to use this experience to find peace. I thank everyone that was involved in that deeply because they taught me one that I have a lot to lose, which what a beautiful thing to have something to lose. I have something that's worth taking. Thank you for showing me that. Also, I have learned so much about myself through this process that I'm bulletproof. At the end of that, I was like, oh, y'all are going to have to actually kill me to stop me. You slowed me down, but you're actually going to have to take my life to stop me. You know how beautiful of a realization is that? I'm not mad at anybody. The you can feel it, right? When I'm talking about it, it's still in me. I'm like, "Gah." But that whole experience has pushed me, amongst other things, has pushed me to a new artistic expression. You know how beautiful that is? You know how beautiful it is to feel that pressure and to come out of it stronger? So I hope that they are having the same experience where they feel stronger. And I hope that one day we're all able to let it go inside without the other person's input, that we're all able to let it go.
Yeah. With you saying just the shift in your artistic expression. Well, actually, before we go to that, one of the things that I remember you saying to me at that time was like, this is taking food out of my daughter's mouth right now. And I think one of the points that I really, really want to dive into to close out that whole chapter of the conversation is be really, really mindful with your tongue and your opinion when you actually don't know what the fuck you're really talking about or who you're really talking about. It's okay to have an opinion or perspective, but be so mindful of what you are saying and what you are spreading about somebody. To call a man who is a single father of a daughter a pedophile and have that be one of the things that is slandering their name in a way to where it is affecting their business and it is affecting their money, and they do have somebody at home to provide for. Like, people aren't thinking about stuff like that when they're saying what they're saying. Like, even going back to the Drake thing, right? Vakai is so convinced that Drake is absolutely 1000% a pedophile. And I'm like, listen, I don't know if he is, okay? I don't know if he is, but you can't just run with that if you actually don't know. Like, there's right now there's no solid evidence that that is the truth. And now you have an entire generation of kids that think that that is true, and now do not fuck with him at all. Like, once this generation fizzles out of Drake, like, our generation's not, like, that could truly ruin his entire career. That, like, kills longevity for him, which is why they're in the lawsuit right now.
That's what I was curious about your lawsuit, because that is a textbook defamation of character case right there. It's when money is lost.
I immediately found a defamation lawyer and sent her, because I had her address, and sent her letter, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to offer a different point. Or I want to, like, not challenge you. I just want to offer an alternative. Everything you were saying, I was also saying, but also do what the fuck you want, though. Also, like, if you want to call somebody something, also fuck it. Like, this is just a movie, man. This is all just a movie. Like, let's make the movie spicy. Y'all can't kill me. You can't kill. Have you heard Nokia? That new, he put out a song after he went through all that, and it's popping. Look, test the Giants. Test them. As a person who went through it, my daughter's good. I'm good. Drake is good. Test them also. If you want to get gully, it shows who you are.
Yeah, but I feel you.
Yeah.
And I love that you have that spirit, and I love that you have that perspective, but not everybody's built like you.
Shit, then let them fry. I'm sorry. That's really how I feel. I'm sorry, but then let them cook. Then you weren't built for this. Then you were not built for the public eye. I'm built for this. It took me a minute to get past it, but after you get through it, you either choose to melt into the ground and let these people control you, or you rise up. I'm 10 times stronger than I was then. And now I'm being honest with my art. You know how important that is? They helped me. Pressure builds diamonds, fire tempers steel. Then let them fry. Then they weren't meant for it.
That's a beautiful perspective.
A perspective of a person who went through it.
Right.
Take everything from me and I'm going to get it right back. And where you think those people are at? The guy, woo, I want to say something, girl.
Don't.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Look. It's people that, look, I'm going to keep it vague. I know where a lot of those people are at now, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And it's just that simple. I watched. Damn. I got caught up in it too, in the idea that someone did something. There is a pair of artists who I'm not going to say their names that I'm very good friends with at this moment. And literally right before me, they went through it, but they got vaporized. Like they got attacked to where it was different than me. It was in the news. It was in the paper. And when that happened, I was like, oh, it must be true because so many people are saying it. But I would never dogpile. I just keep my opinions to myself because ultimately I don't really know. The mental state that you have to be in to say something publicly and you don't know, I have empathy for you because you're in deep pain. For you to jump on a dog pile and become a tribe of people attacking, it's really hard to be able to see that someone is really suffering that's in that thing. But don't say it publicly. You want to send a DM, go ahead. You want to murmur in circles, go ahead. But to dogpile someone online, you're in a wild state. Now that I'm past it, I'm looking back like, oh, damn, those people are suffering, you know? So I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
Drake is going to be just fine.
He
Yeah, Drake's gonna
is.
be okay.
He's gonna be okay. But I just think about, I'm like, I don't know, man. I look at that word and that's like,
That's one of the worst things you can be called.
Yeah.
yeah,
1000%.
it really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
You have a very feminine, loving. This is literally dad and mom here. You're the mom is like the feminine is like, oh, like I want them to be held and I want them to be protect. I'm like, no, send him out on. He wants to lay on that bed of nails. Let him lay on the bed of nails. It is what it is. We asked for this. When you put yourself in a public sphere, and I'm smiling on camera. I'm showing this studio. The attack happened on the post where I hired a videographer to come film me in this brand new 3,000-foot glass studio. The day I posted that, that's where the attack. Of course it did, because I'm out here. Hey, look at me. Maybe I'm not being humble enough. I asked for it. I'm moving slimy. I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm being me. I get it. But I'm sorry, feminine, masculine. Yeah, let him cook. Let him bash his head. He wants to go. I told him not to run. Let him bash his head. This is very masculine, feminine. It's beautiful.
All right. I'm just like, please don't say that to people if it's not true. Because I know when that energy is true, and it's like, you don't, that's just a super sensitive topic for me, man. It really, really is. And when I experienced you as a dad with your daughter, I was like, that ain't right, man. That just ain't right. It didn't sit right in my spirit. But to your point, I'm glad that you moved through the fire the way that you did and got to this point of your artistic expression, because you made a lot of sacrifices. Actually, that actually had to burn down, because what went down in flames was the thing that ended up not being fully true to where you are now. So do you want to talk about your new artistic expression that you've moved into? Because that's been a vulnerable thing for you too. Like when you're doing something, it's like me and the Tony, like leaving Tony and Dean. You know, when you're doing something that works for so long, doing something that you're known for in this type of way, and then you say, actually, this isn't who I am anymore. Yes, this is working. Yes, this is successful. Yes, this is paying the bills, but it's not who I am anymore. And I no longer want to do it. And I'm willing to sacrifice all the comfort and the notoriety that comes with it so that I can be in my most authentic expression.
So I chose artistic expression that I knew would work. The honest to goodness truth is I just wanted to be a successful artist. So I saw people are getting paid a bunch of money and being successful with murals. So I went on YouTube, learned how to do murals. It's bright colors, it's desert plants, and it says the words, "You are amazing" over the top. That's about as easy as it gets. And it worked big time. Also, corporations and companies are wanting to align with me because of this thing, this shell that I was lucky enough to discover yoga, learn how to take care of, moisturize my skin, and smile and speak well. But was it true? Okay, at the time, hell yeah, it was true to what I was feeling. But and all that cancel culture shit didn't that isn't what got that sprung me out to get me to this new expression. It's feeling myself getting older. I have a TV show out right now on PBS that I don't tell anybody about, that I'm embarrassed of. 13 full episodes on Arizona PBS because they did me so grimy. They did not allow me to be creative. They didn't want my creative energy. They kept me like little boy, you know what I'm saying? And then Iron Man Corporation stole my art. The year after I did an artistic campaign with them, they had an artist come in and design their medals with my motif, but changed it just enough to where I couldn't sue them. These things wrung me out. Cancel culture and corporate culture strung me dry. And so I said, okay, I'm about halfway done with my life. It's time for me to trust that me being honest with my art is gonna work. And so bright colors and Instagram backgrounds just didn't feel right. So I'm like, okay, I think it's time to just die to this old thing and trust that this new thing is gonna work. And so this new expression is there's no color in it. The only color is a gold sun. And it's black, white, it's textured, it's more like in the fine art world, and it feels kind of like age appropriate. And also, to be honest with you, I'm watching a lot of people just do the same over and over again, and I know how to stand out in a crowd. You got to be different. So I'm making sure that you're such a good listener.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just, I realize that, like, you're really good at listening.
Thank you. You have
No,
a fascinating story. I'm like, yes.
thanks.
I told you I'm going to be sat during this.
I appreciate you. But this new expression feels real. It's ugly, it's gross, but it's also there. That's why I say let them burn, because there's so much beauty in the pain. There's so much beauty in darkness. This entire experience is a range of colors. There is no good or bad. There's just sepia, blue, gold, there's yellow. And it's time for me to start exploring the darker shades of colors. And so this new expression is dark and it's aggressive, but it's also what I'm feeling. And it's time for me to start putting that out there. And I know how to do this. Delusion. Seeing the unseen. We talked yesterday about energy movement. Like, we're energy crafters. When you go get a job, you're not really moving energy. You're just trusting that your boss is going to have work for you. But when you're moving unseen, like y'all's podcast, y'all are fully delusional. This is going to work. You got to be, because that's how you make it work. The universe is like, come on, let's see how much torture you can take. Let's see how much pain you can take. Let's see how long you're going to go. And then, bam, 10,000, 20,000 views, money, whatever you're looking for. It comes. But yeah, that delusion is important. So right now I'm fully delusional. This thing is going to work, but it's working. You know how I know it's working? Because I'm excited about art again. You know how hard it was to paint the words "you are amazing" over colors when I don't feel like you are amazing. I don't feel like I want to tell the world. I want to tell the world about my pain. I want to be honest with y'all about how whack chasing money is through corporations. I want to tell y'all about how painful it can be to have what feels like 2,000 people telling you that you're garbage. And so here you go. Bile is the new expression, and it's out there. I got a YouTube page. It's Jayarr Steiner. I got a website, jayarr.art. Check it out. I'm sure they're going to link it for me, but
Yeah, we will.
yeah, man.
So a couple of years ago, you gifted Melanie and the Womanhood Wellness Weekend gift bags, small paintings, and I didn't know what was in the envelope. And so I'm going home, going through the bag. I open up the envelope, and I sent Melanie a picture right away. I said, "This is my favorite thing that came in this little gift bag." It was just a small little painting with the "You Are Amazing" sticker, and I have both of them on my desk.
Did you find the magnet in it? People usually lose the magnet.
Oh, I don't know.
There you go. Well, she didn't find the magnet.
Wait, it's on the sticker.
No, the
No.
magnet is like a little disc, but sometimes they fall out.
I don't know. Now I have to go check. But it is the cutest painting. I love it so much. It looks perfect on my desk. And right when I opened it, I was like, this was such a great little treat. Like, screw everything else. This was my favorite.
Thank you for that.
Yes,
that was
thank
his
you.
idea. That was his offering. He's like, yo, how can I support you? What do you need? He's like, do you want me to donate some art? And I'm like, actually, yeah, that'd be super dope. Thank you
Yeah,
for doing that.
Absolutely. Thank you for always collaborating with me and collaborating as my friend and in my life. And
I got you.
Y'all probably don't know this. She's so special. She is so special. Like, let me sing her praises for a minute.
Thanks.
We gush over each other in our conversations. It's always at the end where she'll be like, Jayarr, like, especially recently because she's been going through it. Oh, she's been going through it. She's like, Jayarr, thank you so much for being my friend. You are so, and we're like really giving each other love. But this girl is so special. Anytime you ask me for something, you already know.
Thanks.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah, I was really excited to have this conversation with you because your experience is really unique. It really, really is. And other than you, I only have 2 other friends, and they're actually a married couple that have been canceled and had it really, really affect their business. And to see people who I know are good people go through something like that and then be able to watch how they moved through it and then see the rebirth of what comes out in the end, because I'm witnessing that with you and I'm witnessing that with them, has been so beautiful. And to Casey's question earlier, yeah, I went through that too in my own way when my music career failed and I wasn't able to put my music out. But then that actually led me to me doing what I'm doing now. And if that would have worked, then I would have been a completely different person.
It would have hanging out with Drake.
I would have been hanging out with Meg Thee Stallion and Doja Cat.
Doja Cat.
And so, yeah, it was just so important to me to tell your story as nuanced as it is, because it is very, very unique, but also be able to share the human aspect behind the scenes of what everybody saw online, and to just drop the seed to everybody who's listening is just like dig a little bit deeper with people, because I'm so glad you are such a cherished human being in my life. Just like you said, literally every time we've been getting off the phone recently, because you know what I've been going through, bro. So, and I'm literally like, I'm so grateful for you. Like, he'll call and check on me. He's like, what's new? What's going on? You know? I wouldn't have that in my life right now if I listened to what everybody else was saying. If I didn't follow my curiosity of wanting to know, who is this? Is this guy really what they say he is? Is this really the truth? Let me find that out for myself. You know, if I would have just went along with the crowd and followed what all the girls were saying, especially girls in my community who at the time I was really close friends with and trusted. But something in my spirit was like, I don't know, man. I'm curious. Is this really is this true? I don't know. And I'm really glad I listened to it, because you're extraordinary, my friend. Thanks. You really, really are. And I'm so proud of you. Thanks. I'm proud of your work as an artist. I'm proud of your creation as a father, because Nia is so precious and beautiful and such a phenomenal little girl. And I'm just really excited to see what happens next. Like he said, he is on YouTube, Jayarr Steiner on YouTube, Jayart on Instagram.
Jayarr.art, Jayarr.art.
Yeah, so check him out. Check out his new expression. Follow him on YouTube. He does a really good job at vlogging his artistic daily lifestyle in his studio. It's really, really dope. So thank you so much for having us on.
Before we close this out, can I just offer 2 pieces of advice to anyone who might find this in the algorithm and wants to...
Absolutely.
Okay, so look, 2 pieces of advice. 1, you can only be canceled if you allow yourself to be canceled, right? So let's say your business gets taken, your home gets taken, financial opportunities get taken, all your friends leave, but you're still alive. So you have to continue to move forward, and it's only a matter of time. Look, everyone's story has hills and there's valleys. You're not canceled until you say you're canceled. So just think about everyone. We've all seen stories of people in the news and celebrities been canceled. The ones who slow down and almost stop and then go into a cave and hide, those are the ones who disappear. But the ones who continue to move forward, I don't need to name any names. Those are the ones that are good. So just remember that you're only canceled, you're only finished if you say you're finished. Thing number 2. I lost thing number 2. Hold on.
Keep your dingling in your pants.
Keep the dingling. Yes, professionalism is very important. And just remember that you do have something to lose. Hold on. Thing number 2 is gonna come back to me. God dang.
It's okay.
But you're not really done until you say you're done. So just continue to move forward, and you're gonna be perfectly fine.
Any last closing words, Casey?
No, thank you so much for your openness and your honesty. This is a really fun, entertaining conversation, even though the topic was dense at times. And just thank you for being here and sharing your story with us.
Happy to.
All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. And as always, we will see you next week. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Send it to your homegirls. Send it to your canceled friends. We love you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.